Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this video, I'm going to talk about the types of variables. Okay, so let's say you have a sample of individuals randomly selected from the target population, and suppose that these individuals are then asked to answer this set of questions. For example, how many children do you have? So I'm going to call this Q1, which stands for question 1. The second question is, how much is your annual income? What is your gender? What is your body temperature in Celsius? What is your height? What is your IQ score? What is your education level? Are you satisfied with the current government? So you can choose either of these options: strongly dissatisfied, dissatisfied, satisfied, or strongly satisfied. The same thing for question 7 here. What is your education level? You can choose which of these option that fits you. So is it high school, first degree, master, or PhD? Now all the above here, so all of these here are called variables. The definition of a variable is given as such. It is a characteristic that assumes different values for different elements. As an example, if you ask this question to person A, the answer could be 10. So she has 10 children. If you ask this to person B, the answer could be 0. She has no children. Or if you ask this to person C, then maybe the answer is 2. So she has 2 children. So that is what it means by the characteristic under study. Assumes different values for different elements. Alright, so the types of variables can be broadly categorized as the quantitative and qualitative. Okay, the quantitative variable can be measured numerically, so it has numbers attached to it. There are 4 types. So the first one is the discrete variable, which can assume only whole numbers such as 0, 1, or 2, and so on. As an example, this is a discrete variable because obviously you cannot have 3.5 children or 7.1 children. The answer to this question is going to be a whole number. So this is example of discrete variable. Alright, next is the continuous variable, where the answer to this type of variable is that it can take any value, any decimal point, any fraction, and as an example here, this is a continuous variable because the annual income, somebody's annual income can be 50,436 and 66 cents, and somebody else can have an annual income of 100,000 and 345 ringgit 0.73 cents. So it can be any values, and the values are not limited at all. So this is an example of continuous random variable. Okay, all right, so there you go. Next is the interval variable. So the meaning of interval variable is that it doesn't have, this type of variable doesn't have absolute 0. Okay, so as an example, this is a type of interval variable. because when you say that when you talk about 0 degrees Celsius, it doesn't mean there is no temperature. The temperature is still there. Okay, so perhaps this example will be made clear when we look at the idea of a ratio variable. So ratio variable, as opposed to interval variable, is that this type of variable has absolute zero. As an example, what is your height? So this is a ratio variable. Because when you talk about 0 centimeter, if the height is 0 centimeter, it literally means that person doesn't exist. 0 centimeter means, you know, there is no height at all. The person is just like gone, doesn't exist. Okay, so that is absolute zero. Okay, zero here really means nothing, nada. All right. Next is we're going to talk about the qualitative or categorical variable, where this cannot assume a numerical value. So in other way, it can only give answers in words or in categories. Okay, for example, we're going to look at the first type of categorical variable, which is dichotomous, and it basically means it has only two categories. Okay, as an example, this is a dichotomous variable because when you ask this question to a group of individuals, the answer can be either male or female. There is nothing in between. So there are only two categories here, male or female. All right, next is nominal variable, which means it has more than two categories. Okay, unfortunately there is no proper example that I can pick from this, but it is easy to see that if we ask a question such as what is your race? Okay, what is your race? So then the answer to this can be Malay, Chinese, Indian, I don't know what else, Caucasian. So those are more than two categories, and this is the type of nominal, example of nominal variable. All right, and lastly is what we called the ordinal variable, and this word here comes from the root word order. It has some sort of order, either ascending or descending. As an example, these two variables here are examples of ordinal variables. You can see that even though there are four categories: high school, first degree, master, and PhD, there is some sort of order, ascending order. Similar to this one, these are all in categories, so these are not numbers, they are words. For example, are you satisfied with the current government? Strongly dissatisfied, or dissatisfied, or satisfied, or strongly satisfied. I hope that you can see that there is some sort of order to these answers given here. All right. Now, why do we need to know all these type of variables? This is because if you want to conduct any sort of statistical analysis, you need to understand the type of variables. For example, if the variable is ordinal, it doesn't make sense to try find the mean or standard deviation, because usually sometimes when you talk about the ordinal variable, some people will give values to this. For example, this is category 1 or 2 and 3 and 4, and they tend to make the mistake of finding the mean when in fact these numbers do not exactly represent the real numbers. Okay, I think that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching.